Apologize for my tardiness. I was down the street on Rockside. I forgot the whole text message chain. So thank you. Um, we are here for the order of business to conduct our committee of the whole meeting this afternoon. We are at the Maple Heights Board of Education building. Today is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. The meeting is being held at 5740 Lawn Avenue. The time is going to be 6:06 for our start time. And can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Garth? Here. Ms. Granger?
Here.
Mrs. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Blackwell?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Present. Thank you. All rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next, we'll go right into the adoption of our official agenda for this evening. Is there a motion, please? Thank you. Second.
Second.
That motion was moved and properly seconded. Any questions? Seeing none, can we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Ms. Granger?
Yes.
Mr. Garth? Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Next, the reading, approval, and signing of the minutes of February 2023. Those meetings were February 6, 2023, Committee of the Whole, February 15, 2023, our special meeting, and February 21st, 2023, a regular meeting. Can I have a second, a motion, please?
So move.
Thank you. Thank you. That motion was moved and properly second. Any discussions on any of the minutes? Didn't have anything either. Seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore? Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Ms. Granger?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, motion carries. Next, we'll go straight into executive session.
No.
Under personnel. No action, right? We got. Can I have a motion to go into executive session, please? Can I have a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Moore? Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Ms. Granger?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, motion carries. We're now in executive session. Our time is 6:08. Can I have a motion to reconvene public session, please?
So move.
In a second. Thank you. That motion has been moved and properly seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blackwell?
Yes.
Ms. Granger?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. Next, we will have our financial report from the treasurer. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brown, Dr. Keenan, board members. I have a few items today. I would first like to bring attention to resolution 23-22, which is the tax rate proposal that I received from the county. I looked over the numbers with the county. They all look good. We wouldn't need this to pass and then sent back over there to have our tax rate implemented. The second one is the Julian Group PAFR proposal. The PAFR is a paper that kind of shows the district's financials as a story. The implementation for the first year is $2,500, and then the cost reduces in half after that moving forward. It just kind of get all the templates set up for us is kind of the initial cost. And then with that, I recommend the board approve items 8A, 1 through 5.
Board members, the treasurer has given his report, and he is asking for approval of items 8A, 1 through 5. Can I have a motion, please? In a second. Thank you. That motion has been moved and properly seconded. Any questions on that matter? Any of these matters? Seeing none, Mr. Preacher, can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Moore,
Yes.
Ms. Granger,
Yes.
Mr. Garth,
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell,
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, board members. Next, we'll go into to the report of the superintendent.
Friedrich, for my report this evening, I'll start with 9A. One is just for students for your consideration for home instruction. Under 9A2, I'd like to invite Mr. Niamke to the podium to do a recognition of Todd Associates, who are going to do a special presentation for us this evening.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Keeney, Mr. Friedrich. With us today are representatives from Todd Associates, Jim Prescott, Ned Highland, and Steve Copley. And they are here to recognize one of the employees. I don't want to give the name yet, but we'll let them say the name, but recognize one of our high school employees, as well as announce a scholarship scholarships that they would like to present to some of this year's seniors. So without further ado, I'll turn things over to Mr. Jim Prescott.
Good evening. As was said, my name is Jim Prescott, and I'm a school consultant for Todd Associates and Alara Group. We actually provide the property casualty general liability insurance for your school district. I'm here tonight with two of our account executives, Ned Highland and Steve Copley, to present an award to a Maple Heights teacher, Mr. Gordon Collier. Before we ask Mr. Collier to come up, we'd like to tell you a little bit about the award and why we want to recognize him. At Todd Associates and Alara Group, we have the privilege to interact with many, many school districts that we represent in Northeast Ohio. And during those interactions, we hear many times about some special programs, things that are going on in the school, and people who are truly making a difference in the lives of students and their community. As a former educator myself, I know the hard work and dedication that so many of our staff members make on a daily basis and what they do to go above and beyond. They don't do it for the recognition. They do it because that's just part of their DNA. That's just who they are. So we created an award, and we call it the Crystal Starfish Award. And the award and what goes with it is designed to honor those who are making a difference. So if you don't know about the Crystal Starfish philosophy, let me just tell you a little bit about it. And in front of the board members, I actually put a pin and so forth, and that is a little gift for you tonight. And the old man was walking up the shore littered with thousands of starfish. They were beached and dying on the shore. A young man is standing there, and he's picking up and he's flinging them back into the ocean. The old man comes up to the young man and says, why do you even bother? And the young man says, I'm throwing it back in. He says, well, why? He goes, you're not saving enough of them to make a difference. The young man picks up another one. He throws it back into the ocean, and he looks at the old man and says, I made a difference in the life of that one. And each one of us has the ability on a daily basis to make a difference in the lives of some of our students and others. So tonight, when we read about the story of Mr. Collier in Men's Health magazine, we knew we wanted to do something to honor him in some way for making a difference. He will continue to make the difference in the lives of so many students here at Maple Heights City Schools and in the community. What he does both in the classroom and coaching is impressive. He's a role model. He's an inspiration to many of us. I really enjoyed the quote that I read, and it said, I always tell my students, if you get a mind, you get a mind, you get a body, and you get a lifetime. What you do with the first two determines the last one. Those are some great words to live by. In addition to the award that we're going to present tonight, we'd also like to honor Mr. Collier with two $500 scholarships in his name that he will award on the to a senior graduate, both male and female, at the upcoming scholarship night. Mr. Collier, on behalf of Todd Associates and Alara Group, thank you for all you do and for making a difference in the life of so many people here at Maple Heights or Maple City Schools. That's a little pin for you. And that is officially work. Put that in.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you guys for this award. I truly do appreciate it. I'm a Maple Heights graduate 23 years ago, and I always tell people, especially like every interview I ever did, everything I've always done, this city has given me so much, and being able to give back and being able to be here is, to me, an honor. You know, I think about, it'll be 14 years May when all this stuff happened, when I got injured and everything like that, not thinking what my life would be and trying to figure out what my life was going to be when I was in the hospital. And I just remember, you know what I'm saying, telling myself, this is what I wanted to do, is go into education. And so honestly, I'm just living my dream. So I'm just doing what I do. I love all my staff that I get to see every day, the kids that I get to interact with every day. So thank you guys. I'm definitely looking forward to being able to at least help somebody some way. $500 is $500 no matter what. Trust me, I got a son about to go to college too. So, so I'm honored and I appreciate this.
Thank you, Todd Associates. Congratulations, Mr. Call. Next, we would like to, the board is asked that we have our building presentations throughout the school year. We are fortunate enough to have Dr. Keena Hughley here this evening. Typically, we do our presentations at the buildings. We had to move this meeting over here, so Dr. Hughley is going to do the Obama presentation this evening at the board office. So turn the program over to Dr. Hughley at this point to share about the building level goals at Obama.
Todd Associates for recognizing Collier. To just have a Black man educator in front of our students every day, it's invaluable. The work that you're putting in with them, you know, inside the classroom, outside of the classroom, just the dedication and the effort that you put into it is definitely not going unpunished. So thank you so much for your sacrifice and for everything that you do.
All righty, good evening. I'm Dr. Keena Hughley. I am the principal at Barack Obama Elementary School, and I have with me two of my fourth grade teachers. I have Stephanie Zajac, and I have Allison Patak. So our mission here, educating our students through expectations of excellence to prepare them for a lifetime of success. So we'll start with our building score sheets. So we have 5 academic goals. We have 4 out of 5 on track. Our goal that we are making adjustments to is our ELA goal. based on our TBT and progress monitoring, students are not on track. And so we have been making adjustments to those. We have 6 DEI goals. We have 5 of 6 that are on track. The goal that we are focusing on making adjustments to is the discipline goal. We have set up mediations both before and after suspensions. We have our reintegration mediation. We have our inspiration room, and we also have our inspiration pass, our sensory room, and we have our classroom management plans. We have 5 communication goals. 4 of the 5 are on track. The goal that we will work on to adjust is our parent technology goal. And one of the things that we want to do is in our later big events, do a quick Kahoot with our parents to see how they like communication is it via email, text message, and so on.
I'm Stephanie Zajac. I'm going to do the academic teacher perspective. So just a little bit about our TBTs. We've been using them a lot to look at our data, see where we can improve on. As of right now, we're on target with our math goal, but we're always looking at where our students are weak. And we've brought it up at DLT a few times, and we've talked to building principals, which has been very productive. And we are implementing some stuff with the younger buildings to make sure that we hit our goal, especially for our state testing.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on our ELA goal. Even though we are currently making adjustments, we are planning on implementing some different interventions throughout our summer program with our Rising Stars program as well. So even though we didn't quite meet our goal, we are still going to be making adjustments.
So for attendance, we hired an SSC, which has been working out very well. We have our mentor teachers for our chronically absent students. We have increased our incentives. We have our students' names on slides. And if you do not have their name on the slide, they will tell you, hey, I was here this month, my name should be on the slide. And so we make those adjustments. We have our coins for our book machines. We have lunch with Dr. Hughley. And so when I walk into the cafeteria, they're like, is it my turn yet? And so they really they eat lunch. I just kind of work while they're there and we have some conversations. We have our brown swag, and they've had ice cream parties at lunch. So we also had a career day. We had a few people from the community come out. We had a graduate of Maple Heights come out. She was our CPA. She's also a parent of one of our students. We had our Sam's Club representative come out and talk to the students. And this was also the week that we highlighted college and career. So we came dressed in our college sweatshirts and things like that. Again, with PBIS, we have our restorative practices. We have our classes earn horseshoes, and with those horseshoes, they get an incentive. It could be pajama day, it could be a class party, pizza, and then we also have our PD for the staff. And these are just some photos of, this is actually Ms. Zajac's class. This was pancake day. The students earned that. And so is this pancake or is this the?
That was pancake. We
Pancake.
did crepes as well.
They did crepes too.
Let me tell you, 400 pancakes was super fun.
So as part of our wellness goal, we have Miss Turner, who she goes into the classrooms and she helps the teachers facilitate restorative practice circles. And then you see I'm on the side with this cart. And this was a big hit. So I got snacks for all the teachers and went to each classroom and told them to just get what they want. And so they know they can come to my office for chocolates or any other snacks. Our orchestra program, I don't know how many were able to attend, but if you look really closely, you'll see me in the back playing with students. And so they really got a kick out of that. I don't know how to play the violin. I was in the process of learning, but the students really appreciated the fact that I was learning with them. So with DEI, we are reading Culturally Responsive Teaching and the Brain by Zaretta Hammond. And we also have Dr. Glover, who has her book Centering Student Voice. And so the teachers, and they can tell you, they really enjoy the work that Dr. Glover is doing within our building. Library changes. This has been really exciting for me because when I walked into Obama, there were a lot of books just everywhere. And so we've had the opportunity to remove those outdated books. And Jalen is shaking his head because we had the conversation. And so we are now in the process of getting more culturally relevant books to replace those outdated books. So you'll see those in our book machine. And then once we have our library remodeled, you'll see them there as well. And so again, these are the two books that we are reading as a staff. And then from those books, we'll begin to do the work within the classroom. And so Dr. Keenan and Mrs. Honeycutt was able to see some of this, and they called it the war room. And so these are just some of the things that the teachers are talking about, community building and what it looks like from the teacher perspective, as well as from the student perspective. And so we're going to use, again, the works from culturally responsive teaching, as well as centering student voices to make sure that we have culturally responsive classrooms. And so our students earn tokens to get a book. It's empty right now, so I have to refill it. We have our student ambassadors. What's pictured here, they received a donation from one of the churches. They were collecting winter scarves and hats. And so this is just a photo op for them. And they plan to hand those out, but then we live in Ohio, and so weather changed, so we still have it for next year. In terms of family engagement, we have our parent volunteers that assist with the 5th grade field trips. It's really nice to see the parents come in and go on the field trips and help out with the students, and then come in and give reports and ask, can I come back to your office? And they come back to my office, and we'll just have conversations about what happened and what can be done to make it a little better. Our Rising Stars parents came in to support the Dream Big video premiere. We had our building PTA initial meeting. One of the things that some of the parents were saying is that they want to be able to come to the building for their own students. And then again, we have our wellness and attendance tables. And so this is the video that our Rising Stars students created. So for sake of time, I won't play it, but it is on YouTube. At the end of the video, they talk about what they want to do when they grow up. That. That's it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your presentation. We appreciate all the hard work that you and your staff has put on. You're just running away from me, huh?
Yeah, she got a real quick line. I will add before we get out of the information section, this is Dr. Hughley's first year as principal over at Obama, and there's just been some noticeable improvements in collaboration with her and the staff and working together for the district goals that the board set. And so just proud of the work that they're doing over there at Obama. So thank you guys very much. For my recommendations for this evening, we recommending 9B 1 through 10 and 9C 1 through 9.
Nine B 7 through.
9B 1 through 10 and C 1 through 9.
All right, the superintendent has given his report. He is asking for approval of items 9B 1 through 6, items 9B 7 through 10, as well as 9C 1 through 9. Got all that? Have a motion, please.
So
move. Have a second.
Second.
That motion has been moved and properly second. Any discussions on any of the items?
I would just like to say that I haven't moved or seconded anything this whole meeting, but I had to put my name on this one because I'm really happy with some of the recommendations that's being put forth on this board agenda for this part.
Noted. Any other discussion points? Okay, seeing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mr. Blackwell,
yes.
Mr. Garth,
Yes.
Mr. Granger,
Yes.
Mrs. Moore.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you, board members.
And I'd like to you guys have approved the recommendation for the retirement of Lisa Shostak. And as we did last meeting, Lisa's worked in the district for 34 years, went to the Maple Heights City Schools. So just want to thank her for her time and dedication to not just the community, but the schools and our children as well. And then the second thing is, pardon me? I didn't see her here, so Ms. Shostak's not here now? No. The other thing is I'd like to acknowledge that the board has approved for our curriculum director, Dr. Shay Price, and she is here. So I'd like to give Dr. Price the opportunity to say a few words.
So first, thank you to the board. It was 7 years ago, this same time that my family and friends were here to see me accept the position as the high school principal. There's been 7 great years there, 8 total, because I did freshman academy also. And I have to say that I am thoroughly blessed to live in the community that I work. And so I see the impact that we have when we show up for our students. So I couldn't be more proud to come and have that impact reach far greater than just the high school now. So I am beyond elated to be able to do something that I have always dreamed. This is what I love to do, working with students, working with curriculum. And as you can see, my family is here, my husband's here, and a lot of my staff is here to support me. And I just couldn't be more happy today. And so, but I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for this, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. And I didn't take my job lightly for the last 8 years, and I won't start. So thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to all the work that has to come. Thank you.
Dr. Price, first of all, congratulations. we're having some conversations about you and just your commitment to our students. The fact that you are a resident definitely means a lot. But just your dedication and just what you have demonstrated, your polish and your tact, your insightfulness, your willingness to do the tough stuff when most people wouldn't. Um, I will say that the job of curriculum director is, you know, this board will continue to hold that position in high regard. Even outside the treasurer and our superintendents, who's the only people that we're really responsible for, because you have the education of our students, you know, and to make sure that you have a vision that's fine and crisp, that you get teachers on board so that we can move the needle for all of our students. And I think that you have the passion and the energy to do that. And on the tough days, just remember that you did it once and you can do it again. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all got reports? No? You have a report?
I'll do a report after at the next one. I have some things. I have some stuff that I want to present at the next board meeting.
Sure.
That the prom thing went over nice.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, it was nice.
All right, we're going to keep it moving. We have our board member reports, and first we will start with Ross. Mrs. Moore. You can go first with your report.
Over the weekend, over this past week, I went to a conference for superintendents, board members, treasurers, and there were some teachers there in Tampa, Florida. It was called Cosbo, and it was something new. It was more of a smaller, intimate conference where they addressed more of the popular things that the schools are being addressed with, like, 4-day work week, and how they scheduled and how they made the schedule for big cities and big school districts versus the smaller school districts. And Colorado, Arkansas, a lot of those school districts that were there representing that issue, they're saying they're having a lot of success. And I know a couple of schools that are in Ohio, down in the Cincinnati, Dayton area, they are currently doing, a couple schools are doing 4-day work week. And I know College Hill just announced that they will be doing 4-day work week. And there was a lot of people that are looking to say that, the students have a great benefit. The attendance is it increased for kids to come to school. It stopped the high absence rates that they have. And so that was one of the benefits that they had. And also that 5th day that you had in a week, they used that day to do a lot of the special services that we offer our students. They use that day, instead of being able to be pulled out of school, pulled out of class, they use that day for those services. So they said that also helped benefits the students to make sure that they were not taken away from the class time. So the kids are in class a lot more. So I think that is one of the things that we may, as the state of Ohio, I could see that is going to probably come here. So, I mean, I think we should start planning now how we would use a 4-day work week. I mean, they gave the option to people to come in on that 5th day if they wanted to come in. it wasn't mandatory. The attendance for the staff even increased. They had less sick days being used. And like I said, and especially for the students, they had a less issue of having high attendance as far as absences with the students. So I thought that was great. And then they also had one other thing that a speaker there talked about the poverty of certain school districts and school districts like ours, where our kids have to be open to change, but also as staff members, we have to be open to acknowledging what our students have to foresee every day in their lifehood, even before they get to school, and how we have to be able to prepare our students and our staff, especially our staff, to be able to deal with the things that our students have to see on a daily basis that we may not be subjected to. I think that her speaking and her presentation would benefit our district very valuably, as far as us learning a lot of how we can address the issues of understanding our students and how all of this play into the emotional part and the learning of our students, and how it also play in how we teach our students and how our staff will be able to address and be able emotionally deal with the things that they see and the things that they have to deal with, on a daily basis with our students. I think it would be a great benefit if we could, have her come in and then work with our staff, our administration, our teachers, and our students and our classified staff to have a full circle of assistance with learning how to address the needs that our students and our staff may need. Something that we haven't had on our radar, and listening to her talk about the experience that she has growing up from childhood and being in that circle and fighting that battle to get out, and people really not addressing, what it is to be poor. So hopefully we can look at her her presentation to see if we can have her come into our district, and then I will provide all the paperwork, and so you guys can see what she's doing. And she is making a documentary of her life and this issue of being poor and educating, and how she had to address, from her family, from herself and her kids, and from her family of brothers and siblings, of getting out as far as making it out. She did end up getting her doctorate degree, but it took her 10 years, like she said. If it took her 20 years, she said she ended up doing it. So she likes to talk about those things of how she made it out, and maybe our kids will be able to see how she did, how her life impacted, at how her life impacted where she is right now. And maybe they will be able to see a light, to be able to see the light, to make plans of what they want to do in their life. So those are the two things that I really benefit. I think I benefited to bring back to the district, that I think it will be beneficial for us as a staff and as a board, because the board is also, included in this system of us being able to understand what it means to be poor, and how we need to address educating ourselves to be able to educate our kids. Okay. End of my report.
I have two quick reports. One from our wellness meeting, and we're actually planning on having another one in a couple of weeks, but just some bullet points from our meeting in February. There's a food service and nutrition policy that's being worked on and has to be completed by June 30th. That will include parents and students. At the time, there was an in-service for security. The team in service with bus drivers and security on how to intervene with disruptive behavior on school buses, as well as with parents being disruptive, and how to handle those issues. So the part 2 is supposed to be sometime in March, I believe, but not sure if that took place or not. Then Security was working on 3 different grants. The first one was from about 2,500 and the largest one was for about $250,000. Dealing with biometric stuff like that to so get us further in 21st century technology. We talked about restorative conversations, conscious discipline, training focus on trauma concepts. There was a food service audit that was coming up the couple of days after we met. We had a security position that was had started the day before we had our meeting, and the second one was getting the background check completed. So hopefully that worked out successfully. Moving on to my, I attended NASPA this past weekend. I thought it was a great conference. We went to a class that was roles and responsibilities of the school board and how it's so important that we have continuous dialogue, communicating with the superintendent and the treasurer, as well as making a better effort with the community, getting out into the community and making sure that they know who we are, what we represent, and not just showing up when maybe a levy needs to be passed. So I thought that was really important. The other class that I really enjoyed was effective boardmanship with poverty and thinking about your ethnic background, having that in mind. Basically saying that we need to make sure that we're coaching our superintendent with any issues that we find and not to reprimand or look to come down on them immediately, but to offer constructive criticism and be a team player with that, making sure that we're accountable for what we say we're going to do. So I thought that was really important. One thing that really stood out and one thing that we're struggling with, it said school boards has the least amount of effect on K through 3, but more influence on high schools. So that was something that I found that was eye-opening as well. Another class was life skills students, having students ready and basically talking about how the students are sort of smarter than us when it comes to technology, how they're surpassing us and how we have to keep them engaged. And talked about GPT-4. Anybody heard of GPT-4? And how that's kind of taken over and basically so different from Google now. You can put in a sentence of what you want and so like the guy put in a sentence about how should he lose weight. Yeah. And it walk through the factors, hey, eat this and exercise and don't eat after this time. It was pretty amazing. And the last one was partnering with unions. I thought this was really creative. So it was the superintendent and the union president from Santa Fe, New Mexico. They talked about how they work together to create a daycare for the teachers and staff there. Basically, the home values there were about $650,000, the median. And, of course, teachers don't make that much there. And so and that was one of their biggest struggles with childcare. So this program that they've rolled out has been really, really successful. They've got a long waiting list. They started this off with ESSER funds, and then they got assistance from the state to continue to keep this going. So that was very creative. The other thing that they're doing is with their land that the school owns, they're building homes on that land for teachers who want to be close and in that community. So they can have different, affordable housing. And basically, they don't have to, do a contract or saying they're going to stay at that property for a certain amount of time. But they're working out the commitment with the lawyers now. They're expecting to have it completed in about 2 years. So I thought that some thinking out of the side of the box.
Vice President. My report will come from our conference as well. It kind of just goes along perfectly to what both board members shared today. Just this idea about doing better. This idea of continuous improvement and how we just how we have the charge to continue to challenge that. I think that it is about finding those innovative solutions, those things that may be a little bit differently given the resources that we have, like time, for example, because with things such as poverty and racism and all the isms and all the things, what we call them, we continue to expect the same results with those same tools. And one of the things that I always say is you can't use the master's tools to tear down the master's house. So we got to think differently. And that's the word. It's about different. We have to say this is not working. We cannot continue to sit in union meetings going back and forth, fighting over the pennies that we all don't got, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just a system that's created so that way somebody's upset, somebody doesn't get what they need, and then kids lose at the end of the day. It's a constant pull and tug of war where our federal and state funding is changing every year, and we can't even predict too many years out for us to make those financial sustainable changes for our students. So I think that it is a charge for us to kind of think about ways in which we can innovate and use the resources we do have and maximize those, as well as making sure that we're taking care of people, hearing people, valuing people, making sure we're solving actual problems and not creating or exacerbating issues. So that was just one of the conference sessions that I kind of went to and just took a lot from, because education is a very, precious thing, in America, just a value and emphasis on education. I think that, we have clear evidence to support with 2% of all federal funding. And I say that to go to any kind of education that you can think of, that's the value. So we have a rise in charter schools and these movements about choice. It's because, there's something about choice, but there's also something about painting pictures where people think it's choice, but it's really not, and they're losing so much more. It's just the tactics that people use, like trying to dismantle not just this board of education, but every board of education across the nation, for various reasons. That was one of the sessions as well. We kind of talked about who deserves. I'll make an official announcement, but who deserves to be a board member? Do you have to be an educator or a background, have a degree in education? Can you be somebody with business acumen that can give you some great insight into how financially speaking we can make things more sustainable? And it's really both and. We need a diverse group of perspectives from people who care about kids and don't have ulterior motives or agendas, so that way we can push the needle and kind of think outside of the box, especially when we see that the things that we're doing are not producing the fruit that we want to. And that's how we advocate and stand up for our students, especially here in Maple Heights. So that is the end of my report as well. Thank you. Anybody have anything else? Yeah.
And there's one more thing. I remember we discussed having and searching for more programs to also to be able to have our paraprofessionals be more involved in the classroom with our teachers and their students. And there was a program there that that had more classes and online training. It was called the Master Teachers Program, but was for prepare educators. And it had online training, and it had different levels into the courses that we're teaching right now, and to give the knowledge that the paraprofessionals may need, to be able to assist the teachers and assist the students in the classroom, online, doing tutoring sessions, one-on-ones. I mean, it's there to available. And I think that will be something also that we can look at to be able to address some of the issues that, you know, our paraprofessionals are complaining about, and asking for more pay and asking for more resources to help them be able to do their job better for the students and assistant teachers. So that was another another two that we may be able to look at too. Okay.
One from the audience that would like to share that has not had an opportunity to. All right, thank you so much. We're not going back to executive session, so we're gonna take that off. Wait, do we need to go back to executive session?
Issues we got.
All right, cool, that's okay, that's it.
Is this your visitor participation session? Okay, because you didn't announce that. Like, we doing here? I don't have anything to say about your committee reports. But first of all, I want to thank this board for all the hard work that you guys are doing. I wear two hats because I'm a 30-something year Maple Heights resident. And then I'm also, I got a few hats, and I'm an employee of Maple. And I have also been a parent, and I'm a union president. But I had a question that I was not able to ask because the board hadn't met in a little bit. But I did get the minutes from the February meeting. And so I had a question about, this is my hat as a voter in Maple Heights. Andrea Beeman, I work at 1 Mustang Way. I'm not giving my home address. I don't want people coming over for dinner. So I had a question about the Wellness Center. I do agree that Wiley Athletic Center has been underutilized, and we need to do something really good for the kids. But I had a question because I saw that in the description in the minutes, it said that it's going to be used for students and community. How much community involvement is going to be involved in that center? Is it going to be a wellness center for the kids to use, or is it going to be a community center? Like what's going to be happening with that?
I'm not sure if maybe it's an error in community center. It's a wellness center, and it's going to be used for students. That's the intention of it. You know, that's we're going to be using extra dollars for it, and there's a requirement that it's for student use, and so that's the intention of it. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a student wellness center.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because that was in February. In February, there was an agenda that was given out, and it gave out like all of the contracts and stuff that was going to be to fix the field.
Yeah.
Wiley Athletic Center. And it said,
I have that here. Sure that the purposes and what it's used for is correctly stated there.
Right.
I didn't see any discrepancy.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to know that. Right. Okay. That's what I need to know, because I'm like, Lord, if this is community center, we got a problem, because I don't know how my people are going to clean it and secure it and all that other kind of stuff. Okay. So it is. And so then
used specifically
for students. Okay. Thank you. And then my other question, as we move forward with this wellness center, is that that you school board members are mindful about the amount of, because it's going to be an uptick in usage when we talk about cleaning and sanitizing and maintaining and securing, that you are mindful in all facets and very intentional about making sure that it is going to be staffed properly, so that all of the work of, maintaining this beautiful building that we're going to, in this complex that we're going to have, does not fall in the hands of just like one or two people, that there is a team of people who are going to be able to do this. And I know that's going to, probably, make us have to use more resources. And I get that out of our general funds or something, but I think that the amount of the benefit that we're going to be giving to the community for our students is going to outweigh those other issues. So just when you're planning, just please be mindful of the personnel that we need. Okay. Thank you.
That motion has been moved and properly seconded. Time is 7:18. You're now in executive session.